Welcome back to the upper final of the Magic World Championship. Ailey alongside Cedric Phillips. And you know what? If Yuta takes the whole thing down, maybe we can make him King of the Dragons, Cedric, because he seems unstoppable right now.
King of the Dragons, perhaps. Look, this deck that he has chosen to bring here is kind of a known quantity coming into the format with the rotation. Kind of disappointed a little bit in results early on. But clearly he stuck with it, and he has found something that has worked for him because he is still undefeated in Constructed, is Yuta Takahashi with Izzet Dragons. But Jan Merkel, who has handed Korstrowski his first loss, will he hand Yuta his first loss in Constructed? Is the problem Jan Merkel?
It could well be. Is he the Giant Slayer here this weekend?
Yes!
And can he get another clean 2-0? Because that's all we've seen thus far in the top four. Just 2-0s aplenty. So let's take a look at the opening hands and get the action underway.
Indeed we shall. It looks like Takahashi has taken a mulligan, but has found a hand that he is happier. Yeah, I guess looks like it is a mulligan to 5. Thought it was only to 6, but it looks like he's found a hand that, you know, obviously not thrilled with, but happy enough. A dragon to get things started with Smoldering Egg and a divide by 0 to buy a little time and potentially do some learning.
Just gonna start things up with a Frostboil Snarl, not revealing anything in hand. Hey, Arena, we have a World Championship to play. Let's go. There you go. All right, it's fine.
That's right.
Everybody gets a little nervous on the big stage.
You talk to him.
Sometimes you just have to will things into existence, like a land off the top of the library, or not, as the case may be.
That is a good duress. Duress in a matchup like this. We talked about it in Jan's last matchup against Izzet Epiphany. In this matchup as well against Izzet Dragons, duress is going to be beautiful. Taking a card, especially when your opponent's on mulligan at 5, but also getting the information of, okay, you're working with divide by 0 and a land. Pretty good draw step, though, there for Takahashi.
Yeah, that's a great draw there. Usually the first thing to go in a hand like that would be an Expressive Iteration-esque card. That's why we see the Memory Deluge getting taken there. So leaving up the divide by 0, the known quantity, Jan Merkel will have to tread carefully. Not that he has much going for him this turn anyway.
Yeah, but Jan's got the easy thing going for him right now insofar as I got lands, I got spells, I got things to do because I was able to just find a good enough opening hand. It looks like there's Goldspan Dragon now. It's a good thing to be working towards.
Perseveration going to be the play here for Takahashi. Smoldering Egg will get its counters going. We do see that Fading Hope from Jan Merkel, so he'll be able to deal with that eventually. Memory Deluge in hand alongside the Riverglide pathway into exile. So that'll hit the board and the turn will get passed back.
Now, that's actually a pretty nice Expressive Iteration because you found land number 4. You're one step closer to Goldspan Dragon, and if you don't draw a land this turn, you've at least found something to do with Memory Deluge in order to probably chain you to the next land. So will we see this be cast on the main phase? Remember that Merkel, because they are playing Lear, counter magic, not a thing that really anybody needs to concern themselves with here.
There are those sneaky copies of Jawar Disruption, which have caught quite a few players unawares. Just the 2 copies. So Yuta Takahashi is just going to pass the turn back and tempt Merkel to do something here. We see the All-Star from game number 1 against Andre Strasky. Burn down the house. Here, have some dragons.
Yeah, now this is a little bit interesting because
imagine if there were 3 dragons, devils.
Not quite. Now he's actually going with the deal 5 damage mode here to kill the Smoldering Egg, which was a little surprising to me too, because I was assuming that we'd see devils kind of join the fray here. But we're gonna let this resolve a deluge, and now if you find a land that's gonna enter the battlefield untapped, you've got yourself a Goldspan Dragon. And even though Takahashi on a mulligan to 5 here, this hand is coming together quite nicely, Ailey. The mountain is the easy part. Now, Smoldering Egg, I think, is a card that he's not really going to work into his calculus. So now it's between, do I want a second Goldspan Dragon or do I want a Fading Hope? Because you can make the argument here of, I take the Fading Hope, attack with the dragon, I have a treasure. Now we have a 3rd Goldspan. Okay, so we're going to play one way here. Namesake, Izzet Dragons? Here's the first of many.
Lovely stuff. So no way to bounce back the dragon, but does have 2 spares in the holster here. And Merkel has to deal with these dragons ASAP. Does have a Galvanic Iteration, can Fading Hope twice, but it looks like he's going to go towards Lear here as his play for the turn.
Yeah, Thundering Rebuke's going to look pretty good
Oh,
now. Looks like we're
duress.
going to see a Duress. So Lear plus Duress, get a good look at that hand. That Thundering Rebuke may be biting the dust here in just a moment. But if you're Merkel, it's a little scary to know that, okay, another dragon's coming. I don't love that.
Yeah, it's a little bit scary. Now, typically, you untap with Lear, you're in a good position to win. But if you untap with Goldspan Dragon and friends, yeah, you're looking pretty darn good as well. So, big decision here for Merkel. What is the most annoying card here in Takahashi's hand?
I mean, Merkel's taken a long time, and so am I with what you're supposed to take with this Duress when you know that there are two dragons that you're facing down and one already on the battlefield as well. Looks like he's thinking Rebuke.
I guess Rebuke is a clean answer to Lear, you know. He's just dead, can't recast it. Divide by Zero, though, does give access to sideboard or a Luton discard.
Yeah,
oh,
so
sorry,
divide by zero is actually really scary, right? Because if you let Takahashi keep divide by zero, what he can do is he can go divide by zero, bounce your thing, and then like go to mascot exhibition,
yeah.
right? And that's really scary too. So I think I think you have to take divide by zero there. I mean, you're in a rock and a hard place either way. Now here comes we'll call this for you NES fans, Double Dragon, bang, into Thundering Rebuke, kill that into Best of Luck.
Yeah. Now, if the Lear had survived, which there wasn't any chance in heck that it was going to, we'd had a clean answer to the dragons in the burn down the house in the graveyard, but now we're just gonna see Alrund's Epiphany try and find Merkel something. Does have 2 extra turns coming courtesy of that Alrund's Epiphany,
Well,
a third even with Galvanic Iteration, and that land is big news.
He needed to find that land to be able to Epiphany for additional turns, and now we are doing the Epiphany chaining. Birds aplenty here for Merkel, along with turns. This could get bad. This could get really bad here for Takahashi. Will he get another turn?
This is one way to beat dragons. Takahashi's tapped out. Birds can get in here for a bunch of damage, but what else can we find off the top? That's a great draw here.
Don't hate that.
Merkel, let's see. What do we find?
Yeah, that's the big question. What does he find? Okay, a swing and a bit of a miss here, and Spikefield has her in just a couple of lands, so not the best of the bunch.
But it's okay. You know what? He's got 4 turns.
Yeah, in that situation, you're probably looking for something like a Hall of Storm Giants. Obviously, another Epiphany looks pretty nice there as well. So you come in here for 6. It's going to bring you down to 12.
He does have the option to fading up one of his own creatures to get the Scribe before his next turn starts, so...
Yeah, if you do, you definitely can do that, and that's not crazy because you know you're facing down 2 dragons and a third one coming. That you might just say, yeah, I got to try to get maybe a little bit lucky here. See what the draw step is. Okay,
nice.
Let's spin this wheel again, huh?
Okay. Now
with iteration, you have 9 mana by my count. So if you hit an Epiphany, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you're good. Oh, Prismari Command, huh? I remember you.
Yeah. Can we copy that 3 times?
Oh, we saw him do that in the last match. That's going to require 8 mana, 3 for the command, 2 for the iteration's first instance, 3 for the iteration's second instance. We know he has access to 7 mana for a Hardcast Epiphany, so I think coming up 1 mana short on that play at this exact moment.
Demon Bolt, though, can also be copied to kill the dragons, so that's possibly a cleaner consideration here for Jan Merkel.
That's another line you can take, for sure. The way that Takahashi has put up some fight in this game on a mulligan to 5, taking the double dragon approach.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, gotta love it, gotta respect it.
Yeah, so we're gonna see the Demon Bolt play here, it looks like. Copy that, kill some dragons. Sure, a bunch of extra mana for Takahashi, which will allow him to cast a Memory Deluge this turn, I believe, if both of these dragons get targeted.
Yeah, it's just one other thing. That's actually a really good point, too. One other thing, though, to note.
Oh, imagine he finds a Fading Hope.
Yeah. Takahashi does have a copy of Hall of Storm Giants down there amongst his lands, so let's not forget about that. Merkel doesn't have one. Takahashi does. That thing hits hard.
Merkel's probably just thinking about all the possible consequences of this action, but it does look like a copied Demon Bolt to take care of these dragons is on the cards here for Merkel.
Okay.
Demon Bolt time, let's go. All right,
There's your first target. Now here's your second one.
Uh-huh. See if there'll be a deluge here in response. Oh yeah.
At the very least, there's going to be the floating of mana. At the very least. Hmm. Okay.
All the blue. I like it. All right, Fading Hope. Let's go.
You mentioned that is a thing that could happen. We get to look at the top 7 pick too. Very dig through time-esque. Not the best 7 cards that Takahashi has ever seen.
Yeah, that's not great.
Very quickly deciding on Riverglide Pathway. I'm curious what the other selection will be.
Shadow Skull could kill some birds. Expressive Iteration is another way to look deeper into the library, as is Deluge.
Yeah. Dragon's Fire does not look like it's on the menu. Another Deluge doesn't appear to be interesting. Jawari Disruption, I think, probably the worst of the bunch of these 7 cards. So you're just kind of whittling away at options here. Looks like Takahashi thinks these are the best ones. Demon Bolt, a great innovation in this tournament as far as removal spells are concerned.
Yeah.
It's been really, really good basically every time we've seen it.
Alright, so Merkel getting in some extra swings here with these birds, just leaving 1 back on blocking duty.
Remember, Merkel does know about the Goldspan Dragon that's in Takahashi's hand. Takahashi knows, Merkel knows as well, so...
Ooh, hey! Ooh. He was happy about that.
He was happy about that. Interesting. Is that what he was looking for this entire time? I'm curious what the thought process is right now. Takahashi is somewhat expressive.
I love it.
But not that expressive. I don't think. So clearly he was pumped by that draw step. That didn't seem like a disappointment, that reaction.
That felt like a heck yeah to me.
Yeah, me too.
Here comes Goldspan Dragon, Fading Hope looming in hand there for Jan Merkel. Does he fire it off here to prevent the swing?
Yeah. Looks like the answer is no, so here comes the dragon. Interesting.
Oh man, this is tense.
I mean, so, I'm like, well, you left that bird back to block. But just because you left it back doesn't mean you have to block with it. So,
and Merkel's doing his best to line up the win here, and with 6 attackers, excuse me, the Spikefield Hazard and Prismari Command, he could well get the win here.
He could. He very well could. Okay. Okay,
yeah,
now they're all coming. Not leaving anything back this time.
I don't think Takahashi's got a way out of this. 6 power, an extra 1 from Spikefield. That could be the test spell here for Merkel and Prismari Command. You know, one or the other is going to get the job done here for Merkel in game number 1 of our upper finals. And you can see Yuta, he's loving it. He's like, yeah, okay, fine. I guess I have to counter this or I die.
Yeah, you can briefly manage it with Divide by 0, but you see Takahashi not in love with what he has found, and that is gonna do it. Okay.
Oh, nicely played, Jan Merkel. Again, the 1/1 birds. I mean, let's be honest here. It helps taking, what, 3 extra turns in a row? For sure does. But those tokens getting the job done there for Merkel once again.
I would say rarely a bad thing. Taking 3 extra turns in a row, rarely a bad thing.
But even, as you mentioned as well, Cedric, just Takahashi's resilience in that on a mulligan to 5. Imagine if he had not mulligan to 5.
Yeah, no, we very much had a game there.
Oh,
very
heck
much.
Yeah.
And a good game at that.
Yeah. This deck does such an excellent job of filtering through, getting cards to hand, refilling it, stocking up with everything that you need in specific matchups. So I'm looking forward to game number 2 here in our upper final between Jan Merkel and Yuta Takahashi.
Now it's those black cards again, folks.
Oh yes,
It's those duresses.
we saw Jan Merkel just absolutely rip Andre Strasky's hand apart.
It's those duresses. It's those go blanks. Soul Shatter plays a nice role in things in this matchup against the Dragons. Bloodchief's Thirst does a good enough job against Malevolent Hermit. So you've got some nice additions from the Black Splash. Looks like Merkel's getting away from Fading Hope. Maybe some other removal spells. Looks like some copies of the Celestist are going to bite the dust as well. So
Let's go.
Jan, very cool, calm, and collected. Really don't get a lot out of him until he actually, dare I say, yeah, wins the event. Then you get a little bit more out of him, as we have seen a couple of times so far this year. He's had a really, really great year of playing Magic. Maybe only surpassed by Andre Strasky.
That's been awesome just to watch every player's journey here to the World Championship. All such humble players, quiet confidence from all of them, but when it matters, you're gonna see emotion, my friends. So, saw that yesterday with Yuta Takahashi.
Really good opener here from Merkel. He's got a little bit of everything. Mana, not much of an issue. A couple of sideboard cards drawn in Hermit, Go Blank, and Soul Shatter. So, you bring those cards in with the intention of both drawing them and having them be impactful, and he's drawn 3 sideboard cards. So, not a bad start there for him. And for Takahashi, got a Dragon to work towards, a Deluge to kind of bridge the gap, and same thing can be said for Expressive Iteration. So, I'm expecting a pretty good game here.
Yeah, first thing on the board, Malevolent Hermit. Does Takahashi deal with this straight away? Does indeed. Goes to Shadowskull smashing and gets rid of this pesky little Hermit. It will come back as a 2/2 flyer, unless Merkel has something else to do on this turn. Perhaps a Go Blank. Yeah, let's get that Geist out. Uncounterable non-creature spells.
Now, if you are, this is the question I was going to ask: is if you're Takahashi, you're just saying I'm gonna let it rip right now. Now, Dissipate doesn't look the best right now, but he may want to keep that. I mean, again, this is one of those spots that you can make an argument for all 4 of these cards.
Yeah, why isn't Memory Deluge just draw 4 cards? Come on.
Well,
that's not too powerful, right?
Well, we might have to have a conversation about that off cam. We can't have that happen.
That would be quite gross. As is Duress, taking a look here in Yuta Takahashi's hand, and is going to start picking apart.
Great proactive disruption spell. Lead out. Yeah. I call it the bulldozer. Clear the path, get your information, see what's going on before you play your real thing, and how you want to sculpt out the rest of this turn and the following turns. So great, great, great start to this turn here from Merkel.
Now we're going to see the Go Blank follow-up, which we've seen previously this weekend. So 2 cards are going to bite the dust here for Takahashi. Dissipate and Hall of Storm Giants look to be the targets. There's already a Hall of Storm Giants in the battlefield, so not too sad to see the second go.
Yeah, we can't forget, though, those copies of Memory Deluge are also gone now, too. Speak of the Devil's Chief Engineer. It is back.
He seems quite happy with that, so...
Yes.
Goldspan Dragon, nothing to do about that right now, but Soul Shatter is a great answer to this threat because it doesn't target, no extra treasures, and unless there's a counterspell in hand, it's not going to matter anyway because stuff's uncounterable right now. This dragon will be dead.
Indeedy. Yes, indeedy.
But Merkel's setting up for quite a nice 1-2 punch here. Can foretell Elrond's Epiphany, fire that off next turn, and kill the dragon on Yuta's turn.
I guess there's always a question of, is there a reason to Soul Shatter right now? It looks like he believes the answer is no. Looks like he's going to do it on the upkeep. Okay.
Now, when we say a Memory Deluge here, did he keep in the Fading Hope?
Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the highest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers they control. So, straightforward enough. I am curious why we like to do this on the upkeep as opposed to just on your own turn. Only because of the ability to sacrifice the treasure for a meaningful amount of mana while Goldspan's still there. So
yeah, good point.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a hiccup or not. Obviously, I'm going to lean towards the player playing in the tournament who's better than me, but I am going to try to briefly understand doing this on your turn as opposed to your opponent's. Well, it's dead. Fair enough.
Dragon dealt with. Good draw here from Malevolent Hermit. Unfortunately, though, Malevolent Hermit and Benevolent Geist, they don't really play too well with each other, so we won't see any countering from this creature until the Geist is off the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Prismari Command. That's one way to get rid of this pesky flyer.
Yeah, Geist is getting a little work done, slow and steady, as it were. But now we are going to see Prismari Command. Yeah, this little of this plus that, make a treasure. And then you can play Hermit
and
with
counter the
Epiphany.
Sacrifice
it. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good turn. With Deluge in the holster, it's a pretty good turn.
Oh, that's so good. Spikefield Hazard. Another one off the top. Not what Merkel wants to see. Knows that he can't fire off the Epiphany clearly or cleanly, so we'll go to taking care of this Hermit. Do we let it die, or are we going to sacrifice? Or do we let it be exiled, I should say? Or sacrifice it to keep it in the graveyard?
I think you're going to want to... Well, that's actually a tough decision because the treasure matters. So,
yeah.
Looks like that's gone for good. Okay. Merkel. Out of resources, really? Spikefield Hazard? Yeah. Sure. But
doesn't do all that much. Oh, nice. Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Egg alongside Deluge.
Let's get 4 counters on that, yeah? Or we're going to go for that first. Nice.
Yeah, we're going to lead out here.
We're going to find an iteration, perhaps. Jawar Disruption. That could be relevant.
Yeah? You normally expect a Force Spike style effect to be good this late in the game, but very well could be.
There's not much happening on either player's side of the battlefield now, but Takahashi with a slight advantage with a Smoldering Egg down. There is the Oran's Epiphany with a 1 mana up to protect it.
Yeah, but if you're Takahashi, right, you're sitting at 16, your opponent has 1 card in hand, they're not really doing very much. Now, Expressive Iteration is a pretty good draw step. Merkel needed something to gas back up.
Yeah. Let's see what he's taking a look at here.
Yeah, that'd be great if we have the opportunity to.
Land goes back. Mind Flayer. Ooh.
Okay, okay. Pretty
nice. Still with a 1 mana up.
Yeah, we've watched over the course of this weekend. We've watched Sperling bring in Mind Flayer in matchups like this. Sperling and Merkel testing together, playing playing the same deck as it were, same archetype. So Mind Flayer coming in here. Less of a surprise now than it was earlier in the tournament, I guess I would say.
Takahashi's going to lead things off with an Expressive Iteration and sees Dragon's Fire. So that is a great way to get that Flare off the battlefield and return the Smoldering Egg to his side of the battlefield.
Chain together some iterations right now, too.
Lovely. That'll find his land. Dragon's Fire can take care of the Flare.
Yeah, shaping up to be a nice turn. You can see just how impressive Expressive Iteration is, too, because its ability to just kind of gas you back up, or in the off chance that you do have enough mana to kind of chain them together like we're seeing right now. And now we're finding the goods. Now we're finding the goodies.
I think it's time for Jawar Disruption to become a land, as one of these counterspells is going to come to hand here.
That would be my assumption, is one of the counterspells is going to come to hand. I mean, this is another one of those spots where you can make an argument for all of these cards, right?
Yep.
You want to add Goldspan Dragon to your grip? Okay, makes a lot of sense to me. Card's busted. You know, if you want to add Negate to your grip over Test and Talents for some particular reason, I would be surprised if that were the case. But here you go. Goldspan's going to go over to the side. You mentioned Disruption is probably going to be a land now, and it is. So that dream's dead.
Merkel's playing around it too much. He's like, yeah, I know you've got it. So
yeah, he's flooding out pretty. He's flooding out pretty bad, and none of those lands are a creature land. None of them are Hall of Storm Giants.
So this is turning into a slight bit of a shipwreck situation here. Not so much a train wreck for Jan Merkel, as he's digging desperately for answers, and things are about to go from bad to worse for the German. as Yuta Takahashi has found Alrund's Epiphany and a dragon to go along with it.
Indeed, with test of talents to defend oneself. We are donezo.
Ew. Okay, so no more the battle of the 2-0s in this tournament, friends. We now have our first 3-game match here between Takahashi and Merkel. Both of these players playing for a spot in the championship match. If you win here, this is easy mode. You get to the championship match and you sit and you wait until your opponent from the lower bracket makes their way up to you. So everything's play for here, my friends.
Taking a look at Twitch chat right now, always dangerous, I know, but the camps are split. A lot of Yuta fans, a lot of Merkel fans, loving that everybody's here checking this out. And I mean, this match, so much on the line. Two fantastic players, bringing two innovative archetypes here to the tournament. And for Takahashi, again, what you and I have gotten to watch, and Marshall and Paul, and unreal run from 03. Unbelievable. You win this game, you still haven't lost constructed. You're into the finals. You interview Yuta Takahashi after the draft to say, how do you think you're going to do? He said, I just want to win a match. Can I win a match in this tournament first before I get ahead of myself?
And let's not take anything away from Jan Merkel either.
Not even a little.
He had to fight his way into this top 4. He's played so much Magic over the last 2 days.
Oh, I'm a Jan Merkel stan. Is that what the kids say? I'm a stan
what the kids say
for Jan Merkel. Ever since I got to watch his Magic Online Championship Series win, where he took Blade Splicer over Channel, I'm a stan, baby. He's the man.
Here we go, friends. This is the decider in the upper final. Jan Merkel, Yuta Takahashi. Who is going to win? Spam for your favorite in chat, my friends. Show them your love and support. Send them your energy through the internet. And let's see who is going to be our first championship finalist.
Do we want to go out with the Hermit? Or do we want to foretell Saw It Coming? Or do we want to do nothing at all?
Yeah, a bit of an interesting spot with that mountain left up.
Yeah.
It's a little suspicious.
You play that Hermit, you can get that thing picked off by a Spyfield Hazard. Is there some reason you want to leave mana up? Maybe like, bluff a Jawari Disruption or something else, right? It looks like the question's finally answered.
Ooh. Another duress off the top of the library. So Merkel doesn't have a whole lot going for him, but this Expressive Iteration could change all that. Finds Alrund's Epiphany and 2 lands, and will be able to fire off this duress just to try and keep Yuta Takahashi's game plan from going too crazy.
Oh, you get an idea of what the hand is now. Divide by 0, Prismari Command, the Hermit, couple of lands. So Takahashi's hand, there's still some areas to go to here. And what I mean by that is, there's no dragons, there's no Epiphany yet, at least that we know of. I think we all know that Saw It Coming's hiding out over there, of course, being foretold. But this does give Jan an idea of, okay, here's what he has right now. If I'm Jan, I'm also noting that he doesn't have a consistent second red source of mana. Prismari Command can, of course, make a treasure, but he doesn't have a solid second red source. So just minor things to keep track of.
All right, there's that Spikefield Hazard we mentioned, but now that Malevolent Hermit is on the battlefield with 1 blue mana backup, he can prevent it from getting exiled. So the turn will be passed back, Alrund's Epiphany into the Foretell zone, and Hermit's going to get to smacking.
Yes, it is. Second red source of mana achieved there in Shatter Skull. Looks like it's going to just ETB tapped. There's a Soul Shatter. So you see right now from Merkel, Ailey, very reactive hand. Nothing too proactive going on just yet.
So draw go magic happening right now, and there is Alrund's Epiphany. So Takahashi has something big to work towards. Is he going to put this into the Foretell zone just in case of any more disruption from Jan Merkel?
Looks like the answer to that question, don't know.
I mean, negate and sword coming to protect your stuff.
Yeah.
And the Malevolent Hermit. He could actually do all 3 things.
All right, looks like it. Okay, he's going to do it this time. Okay.
All right, there you go. Now, will we see anything from Merkel here? Spikefield Hazard is an easy little answer to the Hermit. And I don't think Takahashi will be too concerned about it, considering the other spells that he has back up, but he wants to prevent whatever's in the Foretell Zone. And if there's a land from Merkel, that is Alrund's Epiphany mana online.
Alright, finally gonna do this. Okay, now we'll make this little exchange, right? You try to kill this, I sacrifice in response. Obviously, you're not gonna pay.
Yeah, pay 3. But it doesn't matter, because it's gone.
One small thing I'm gonna look at here. Always good to keep track of the creature lands in this matchup, because they hit so hard. As Merkel is flooding badly.
But that's right okay now. When you have 7 mana to dump into a 7/7, right?
Yeah, and we're gonna see Negate take care of this Epiphany right away. You know, Takahashi's hand right now doesn't do a great job against the Hall.
It doesn't. If he'd found an untapped land, though, he would have had an extra turn here.
That is true. That is true. So, surely Merkel is not in love with the idea of just, you know, fire up, hit you, pass, shields entirely down, but his hand doesn't really allow for much else. So, you know, you can sit here and try to feign strength. I have 3 really good cards in my hand. You're not going to want to cast anything.
Yeah, that's what he's going to have to do until he draws something meaningful. He needs either an iteration or deluge or something just to dig deeper into his library here, because currently his hand is a bit of a stinker.
Yeah, Leer or something like that. Or, you know, I guess I'd say I'd be surprised if the plan is just, you know, fire up the Hall, put you to 13 potentially, and just kind of go about business that way and then try to do it again the following turn. We'll see, because Jan is obviously in a very difficult position right now because, again, as you mentioned, his hand stinks.
When all else fails, swing, maybe. Because yes, I don't know if this Geist is worth going after with Soul Shadow. It would just get countered. So turn's gonna get passed back. Here's a Smoldering Egg.
He can do so. The ceiling is so much higher on Soul Shatter.
Yeah.
Take that lick. Also, too, the other thing, of course, is that Takahashi doesn't know Merkel's hand. So Takahashi doesn't know that his Epiphany's good right now.
Yeah, he's gonna play around it as if there's interaction in hand, and here's the Soul Shatter. Now, you have a choice. Which one do you sacrifice? I guess it's gotta be the egg, right? Just make scrambled egg out of that?
No, looks like he's gonna sacrifice the Geist. Yeah, I mean, egg has a higher ceiling, especially when you have Epiphany over there.
Yeah. Merkel not drawing well. It's time to go to the Hall of the Storm Giants. Let's get swinging. You can't counter him, kill him. Is the game plan here. Down to 13 goes Takahashi.
Now, of course, we have seen this before. It's entirely possible that may be Merkel's last turn of this match.
Very much so. So we're gonna make a treasure here. And may be able to cast Alrund's Epiphany.
Yeah, he's done.
And have Sword coming back up.
I guess, okay, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. The thing he has to be a little bit fearful of is exactly... He needs to be fearful of... Actually, I'm pretty sure the answer is nothing. I was going to say he needs to be fearful of Fading Hope. Well, there's Fading Hope that he's almost assuredly sideboarded out, but when next turn, Takahashi figured it out, which was basically, I get to play Goldspan with Saw coming up because I have a treasure on the battlefield.
Yep.
So I play this, you play Fading Hope, I sack the treasure for 2 blue. That's it!
That's gonna do it! Yuta Takahashi swinging in here for the win, and he is our first championship match finalist. Congratulations to Yuta Takahashi. Breathe a sigh of relief. He's undefeated still, Cedric. Is anyone gonna take him down?
Why lose when you don't have to? Have you considered that, Magic players? Have you considered that? That's your Takahashi strategy. Just don't lose. And it's super easy.
Pro strats from Cedric Phillips.
Unreal.